How do you feel about where this roster stands going into year 3 for you guys?
Yeah, I think where we are right now, coming into the offseason, between what we did in free agency, the draft today, the trade for Brian Burns, again, we always have room to grow and always have room to improve. And I say it all the time in here, we don't play until September. So there's still time between now and September where we can acquire other players, the final cut down, whatever it may be. So I like the group that we have right now. I'm excited to get the rookies in here, assimilate them into our culture, get on the grass, practice, and then as we observe and evaluate the players as we're going through it, if we still have needs, there will probably be some vets that will be released over the next couple of weeks as well. So there's always going to be a time and a place where you can pounce on some more players. But we'll see where we are right now, and as we go through the competition period and during training camp, if there's other areas we need to fill, we'll try to do that.
Joe, was tight end more of a priority because you don't know what's going to happen with Darren?
Yeah, we had to take that into account for sure, but Theo was the top player on our board. Again, I'm trying to think if there were any of these guys that we took that weren't the top player on the board at the time. We went by the board. He's a guy that last night when we left, he was sticking out for us, and you're always thinking when you come in the next morning he's going to go soon or he may not be there, and we were excited to get Theo.
You obviously did not take a quarterback in this draft. You did a lot of work before the draft has been reported. You tried to move up, or at least had conversations about moving up for a quarterback in this draft. Where do you consider yourself with the quarterback position now for this year and for the future?
Yeah, for me, I said it in January after the season that expectation was Daniel would be our starter, and we brought Drew Lock in to be his backup, and Tommy's been the backup. So that's where we are, and that's where we're going to move forward this season. Daniel's still on contract for 3 more years. So as it sits today, that's where we are.
I think the due diligence on quarterbacks, just based on where you're picking, led to some maybe doubt about your faith in Daniel. Obviously, you signed a big deal last year. So I think people maybe would take that as you're looking to move off him. So do you recommit to him or anything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've said it before. It's not just right now. I mean, Daves and I went through this in 2017, and we've got an intimate knowledge of that class, whether it was Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Mason Root. I mean, you can go through it, and we know those guys. We have a very good feel. Last year's draft, we spent time with C.J. Stroud. We spent time with Will Levis. Now we know what these kids are about. If they ever become free agents or they're on the trade market, I just think it's a different position when you're evaluating it. You can watch all the film you want, but there's reasons at that position guys succeed and they fail, and it's not just because of the tape. So that's always – the 3 years we've been here, we've done a lot of work on the quarterbacks. Maybe it hasn't been as public. It hasn't been as well covered, but we'll always do that just because of the importance of the position and what goes into it. You can't just throw the tape on and say, okay, I'll sign that guy. There's a personal makeup. There's a way you carry yourself, leadership, processing information. It's not easy. This guy calls a play in some of these meetings and says, regurgitate it to me, and then you got to go call out the mic, and then you got to change the play. You got to shift this guy. Oh, by the way, you got to snap the ball, and you got to figure out where you're throwing it to. That's not easy. So I think spending time with this position is very, very important. Again, whether it's today or down the road or in the future.
I talk to the entire team, but I meet with the quarterbacks daily. I spend a lot of time with them every day. Yeah, even now. So, you're just transparent with the entire team about the whole draft process. You're trying to improve your team. The last meeting we had, I showed a picture up here of all of our area scouts, Joe, his leadership group that he mentioned. And, part of their role is to help improve our football team by creating competition. And then there's a human element, too. If you're sitting in there and you're in the receiver room and we draft Malik Neighbors, there's a human element to that, too. So I think you have to be transparent. There's a draft every year. There's free agency every year. We start out the meeting by, any new players that are here that weren't here last year, stand up. Any guys that were drafted by Joe and our staff, stand up. It's different every year. The teams are different. It's constructed different. But I think that open lines of communication, whether it's with DJ, whether it's with Tommy, whether it's with the receivers, the D linemen, linebackers, running backs, I encourage all of our coaches to do that. because I think that's important to be transparent. And whether it's again free agency, draft, there's constant turnover, but so the communication lines are definitely very important.
How do you feel about the offense now?
Yeah, I think, again, what Dave said earlier, once we get out on the field and see how the pieces work together, I think we'll have a better feel. Dave's is one of the better ones I've been around. Like, it's not his system. Like, we're going to run this, and it's, square peg, we got round hole. Like, we're going to go out there, we're going to see what routes these guys run well, what they can do. There are some new pieces. What do they do best, and then how can we accentuate that? How can we get them in positions where they can perform their best? So I like some of the pieces we have. I like some of the upgrades. Again, you can throw Brian Burns in the draft, as well. Just that pick 39 to bring on a 25-year-old two-time Pro Bowler as a pass rusher as part of this draft class. So I like some of the moves that we made in the offseason. We still have work to do, and I just think it's year 3, and we're just going to continue to building the roster and the team. And I think where we are with some of the contract status, like I talked about last night, that you can keep a core group together, over a 2 to 3 year window, and you have another offseason and another draft, and then you look up and there's some really good pieces on the team.